We look at a new topic called refactoring. What is refactoring? I'm sure you have done this many times actually when you wrote programs. When you write a program, after a while, you start thinking that maybe you should have done things differently. That happens to all of us. And then we change our design, change the code, but without changing any of the behavior, any of the functionality. So it improves the quality of your implementation. Maybe you just renamed a variable, okay, or renamed a method, or renamed a class, or added a couple of fields to improve some aspect of the code. They are all called refactoring. You're not changing anything that is done by the program or by the system. It could be performed as you are designing it, or as you are implementing it, or after you have completed all your implementation. You can modify the system to improve its structure. Refactoring can be done using a number of simple rules. So there is a established set of rules that apply to many systems. The changes are usually small, so that once you make the changes, you are pretty confident that you haven't introduced any bugs. But you still need to test to see that the system works correctly, even after making the modifications. It can be used to change the responsibilities, assign new responsibilities to classes, introduce new classes, introduce inheritance or remove inheritance, etc., etc. One primary requirement before you attempt refactoring is to create a good test suite. You want to create a test suite that can provide you with instant feedback on whether there is any bug. So you need an automated test bed. The idea is you create this exhaustive test bed, run it on your system before you make any changes. And if all the tests go through, you start applying your refactoring rules, whatever you need to do. And after you make the changes, you run this test bed again, run these tests. And if any of them reports a bug, you have a problem, you need to fix that. If all these tests go through, you know that most likely you haven't introduced any bugs into your. One thing that is not quite here said explicitly, I want to say that now. Remember that we are not changing the functionality of the system. So we will not be adding any new use cases. We will not be modifying any use cases, etc. If you do that, then that is not refactoring. You are actually modifying the functionality. So please remember that we are not modifying what the system is doing.